Hey guys, it's Mo, and today we are going to be reviewing a book. The book we are going to review is Daughter Smoke & Bone by Laini Taylor. This is the beautiful cover. It is a very nice cover, I will say that right now. Our main character, our protagonist in Daughter Smoke & Bone is Kaoru. I hate not being able to pronounce their names right. It makes me very angry. I'm gonna look it up later. And you can yell at me if I pronounced it wrong, but not too bad, because I'm sorry. I've been trying to think of a way for like 5 minutes of how I can describe this without giving anything away, and like I can't. I don't know how. It's an angels versus demons story, pretty much. This story has a forbidden romance in it, so if that's not like your thing, then I probably wouldn't read this, because that's pretty much the main thing that's going on in this. I keep slapping the book really loud, and I'm sorry, that's probably very obnoxious to your ears. I've kind of modeled my eye makeup, I don't know if you can tell, after the book cover, because I'm fancy like that. See, because it's black and blue, I did a really crappy eyeliner job just so I could match this cover for the book review. I will leave a link in the description box below to the Goodreads page for this book so that you can go look it up and all that stuff, so you can read the synopsis, and that way I don't have to try and mumble one out for you that won't make any sense or have anything to do with what the book's actually about. So, on Goodreads, I rated this book 3 out of 5 stars. I had tons of problems with it that I will get into in the spoilery section and all that, but I will say some basic problems I have with it right now. I have heard that this book is kind of hard to get into, and it definitely was. It took me so long to read this book. I know it's big, it's like 400 pages, but honestly, I could probably read this in a day if it was interesting enough. I read those ginormous Heroes of Olympus books in like a few hours, so I was not expecting that it would take me so long. This took me like weeks, like over a period of time. I had to keep putting it down. Yeah, because honestly, it was boring in some parts. Not all of them, but you know, I had to put it down quite often. The way that this author wrote exposition, it didn't feel very natural, I suppose, like when they were kind of just dumping information on you and kind of interesting stories, but in most times I kind of wanted to skip through them because they were kind of boring, and honestly I did skip through some sentences because I was really that bored. With my personal grading system that I use, because Goodreads 5-star thing is kind of obnoxious because you can't even do half stars, this book got a 71 out of 100, so a 71%, and that's pretty good. So yeah, it's like a C+. Honestly, it was very in the middle. I didn't love it enough for it to be up here, I didn't hate it enough for it to be down there. Very in the middle type of book. So if you haven't read this, I'm going to discuss it now with spoilers, lots of spoilers, so if you don't want to read it and you just want to hear what I say about it, I guess you can keep reading, your call. Keep reading, keep watching. And now we will discuss it with the spoilers. The book has these like chapter section beginner things or whatever they are, and they've got like this picture of a feather and then this little quote, and the quote says, "Once upon a time an angel and a devil fell in love. It did not end well." Well, that's my first impression getting this book, and my first impression is that, that story has definitely been done before. 100 million times, 100 million different ways. Seems kind of like a typical storyline, a forbidden love, forbidden relationship type thing, and so right away I'm like, Casimir, whatever his name was, Kaoru's ex-boyfriend, was a complete obnoxious jerk idiot. I hated him. He was very annoying to me. Comic relief, probably. More like annoying, and I didn't really understand why he was still going after Kaoru. Is that going to be explored more in the other books, or was it just, I don't know. He didn't seem like he loved her, but yet, I don't know. It just didn't make sense in my head. If he was only there for comic relief, then he was the worst comic relief ever. Because sometimes I was like, haha, take that, stupid dummy. That's what you get for being an asshole to Kaoru. But then other times I was like, oh my god, you're just really annoying and I hate you. Go away, please. I really like how Kaoru didn't like lie about like her supernatural life and stuff. She kind of just said it, you know, with that wry smile. Because it was like finally a protagonist who's not being stupid about lying about their supernatural lives. So many of these stinking teenage freaking fantasy sci-fi characters who just lie and make up the stupidest lies, and it annoys me. It's like you really can't come up with anything better than that, and I don't have any examples right now. But honestly, it's you know what I'm talking about. When those stupid characters are like talking to their normal mortal friends, and they're like, oh, I gotta go do some thing, a family thing. I can't get out of it, sorry. Or like the friend will see something like crazy, like a giant monster, and they'll be like, oh, I don't know, it's just someone's dog, I guess, or something. And I'm just sitting there like, what? You can't think of anything better to say than that. What is wrong with you? What was really interesting about this book that most books don't really do, and I did actually like this, is how it kind of really casually brings up Brimstone and like all the secrets Kaoru has about her life. I don't know, I just really like that for some reason. Like, it made Kaoru seem so real. It makes you feel like she's had these secrets in this life for a long time, instead of just like most books where it feels like just bam, all of a sudden, yeah, all this stuff is new to me, and it's not. It slowly kind of introduces it to you a little bit. But when Akaiba and Kaoru first met, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I was like freaking out because I was like, can I ship it? I actually have a sticky note on the page when they're meeting saying, is it okay if I ship it? Because that was before even Akiva, it was before he even realized that like he liked Kaoru or whatever, and that he was like completely in love with her and all that stuff. So I was like, is it okay if I ship it? Because I ship it so hard. I was just so curious because like at that point in the book it didn't even seem like it was going to be a possibility or anything, but for some reason I picked up on something and I was like, oh my god. You know, and then they ended up being the forbidden love or whatever, and I was like, well, now that it's forbidden love, it's ruined for me. When Kaoru and Akaiba went to that bakery, I was just like, oh my god, oh my god. Kaoru just like casually takes like this freaking angel, he's an angel. He just casually takes him to a bakery like, oh, let's go on our first date. And they were just trying to kill each other earlier, and that's like all they know? Is that normal people don't do that? What? Why would you take your enemy trying to kill you? You feel kind of weird about being with him. Yeah, I know, let's just go on a date, you know? That seems very safe. My favorite part in this book was probably any part with Susanna in it, because she was freaking hilarious. Any part with Susanna in it, honestly, was my favorite, though, because she is so funny and so interesting to read. And just, I don't know, I really liked her as a character. I don't really know why. I just really did for some reason. Kaoru kind of annoyed me. Not to a terrible extent or anything like that. I still liked Kaoru as a character. In the beginning I did, but towards the end I really started disliking her more. And I don't understand why. She just started becoming less likable as a character, I guess. Even at the beginning of the book, though, I was kind of a little unsure about Kaoru. I mean, for your main character, your protagonist, your main character, you really need them to be likable. And Kaoru, I feel, wasn't like as likable as she could have been. The plot for this book, though, is extremely interesting. I know I said the angels versus demons and the forbidden love thing is kind of overdone, but the plot was interesting. It did make it kind of new and fresh. It did like a new spin on it and all that stuff. It's a very interesting plot. The settings in this book, wherever they went, I was freaking imagining it in my head so well. It was so cool. Every place they went to was so interesting. Everything was set up well. I really liked that. If you really like books with really cool settings in different places and not just staying in like one place, one setting the whole time, then you will definitely like this. As for the description in Daughter of Smoke and Bone, it was good. It was just very lengthy. I found myself skipping sentences sometimes, and I don't really do that often. I am a very thorough reader. Just I found myself skipping sentences that I felt I didn't even need to read. It's just kind of very descriptive. Like, I know I said that the settings were described very well, but there were so many other things that were described, that a lot, and I was kind of like, okay, I get it. I don't need a ginormous rundown of everything in the room. Her writing style definitely reminded me of J.R.R. Tolkien's, so, you know, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, all those things. Because there are lots of descriptions, and the settings are really cool, and it's really cool descriptions, but honestly, they're long, and I don't need that much information. This book took a very long time for me to get into. And even at the end, I wasn't that into it, so much that I don't even know if I will put continuing this series at the top of my to-do list, because I feel like there's other things I could read that are worth my time more than this book. If you really love this book and you think I'm completely wrong, I'm sorry if you do, because I didn't enjoy it that much. I'm not trying to be like super mean about it or anything. If you could explain it to me, that would be wonderful. Maybe I'm just like missing some very basic thing. Honestly, story feels like it's kind of been done before. It does have its own new twist on it and all that stuff, but, you know. Like I said, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and it got a 71% out of 100%, so that's not too bad. pretty in the middle book. And that's all I have to say about it. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up so I know that you liked it. I make new videos every Tuesday and Friday, so I will see you then with another video. And bye! Look at the bag I got! Look how cute it is. Isn't it so adorable? It's like... Oh, I almost dropped it. Should I just have this swinging while I'm talking? Nah. What? Mac and cheese. Is it okay if I ship this?